Hey everyone, North Central here. Thanks for tuning in. It is always appreciated. I'm going to be doing a review on the Esbit alcohol burner. I've had it for a little while now. I used it a few weeks ago whenever I was in the field deer hunting, and it worked out pretty decent. But I want to go ahead and do a review on it and show you what I found out that works with it and what doesn't. So first of all, this is actually a Stanley 24-ounce cooker, and this is what I actually keep it in. There it is right there. But this cooker is what we're going to actually be boiling some water in. We're going to see how long it takes to boil 8 ounces of water. It comes with, of course, the pot, the handle, a little lid, and 2 nesting cups. I'm not real big about these plastic nesting cups, but until I can find something else right now, they're going to do. The pot itself is made out of stainless steel. It holds 24 ounces of water, or thereabouts, maybe a little more. It's got little measurement markings. I don't know if you can see those or not, but when I bring the camera in closer, I'll show you these again. It goes from 8 ounces, 12 ounces, 16 to 24, or to 20, and then up here at the top is around 24. So it holds 3 cups of water. Now we're going to try and boil water with just 8 ounces today, 1 cup, and I'm going to use my handy little water bottle to do that with. Okay, so this is the Esbit alcohol burner. It comes with the covering lid. And then of course it comes with a screw top type top, and inside the top, if you can look right there, you'll see the black O-ring in there to make sure things don't leak or whatever. And then of course you've got the burner itself. And if you can look down in here, down at the very bottom here, you'll notice holes down in here. And what that does is as you pour the alcohol in here, it comes out into cavities here on the sides. And what actually burns is right around the top here where all these holes are. Now it takes a little bit for that to do it. When you first light it, it's probably going to have flames here in the center, and then when it warms up, it's going to be pushing that alcohol vapor out through these holes in the top, and that's where your flame is going to actually come from. So you got that. Now a lot of people had reviews and stuff saying that they had problems with these leaking. And the only thing that I can think of is they were actually storing their alcohol in here. They would put it up, because you got to put the alcohol level up into just about 2/3 of the way up inside this alcohol burner. And then of course you light it. And it says about 6 to 7 minutes to boil a cup of water. And then they would cover it, let it cool off, and then put the lid on it, because they don't want to waste the alcohol that's in here. Well, I've got a little trick for that. I'm under the assumption that the alcohol in this, the dentured alcohol, will actually eat this O-ring, okay? Which will start to deteriorate and of course make it leak over time. So my philosophy is I don't store alcohol in this. I just use this as that seal there as to keep moisture and everything out of the burner itself. This is what I carry my dentured alcohol in. Okay, this is just an old medicine bottle that I had. It's about 14 ounces worth, and it works out really well. It's pretty seal proof. It comes with this little spout here, which you can take out. Okay, and the reason that I like that is because I can get one of these to fit right in it. Right? So when you're done burning this, you put the flames out, you let this cool off, and then you can simply dump your alcohol right back into here, and I'll demonstrate afterwards. But for right now, we need to get alcohol in the burner. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so I filled it just about 2/3 of the way up. That's exactly where I want it. I'm just going to stick the cover on it so it doesn't evaporate too much. Because I've also got this. What is this? Well, this is the Sterno folding stove, and you can see a little picture of it down here. Now, the only bad thing about this stove, and I got this from Walmart, it was about $7. The only bad thing about this is these little ears right here. Okay, when you put this thing together, this stove was actually made for some of those gel fuels, okay? And they're pretty big. They're much bigger than this. In fact, they're probably about the size of the top of this cup right here. These little tabs right here, let me scoot this over. This little tabs right here were actually bent in really close to down here. They were around here. So I just took a pair of pliers and bent them out, poked them up and down to make sure that when the Esbit burner gets in here, it's gonna sit level, okay? But let me go ahead and get this thing set up and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, and there it is. There is my little folding stove, and I really like this a lot. It really traps in a lot of heat. It keeps the wind off of it, and it does really, really well. So let me set this in here. And there's that. Okay, so now all we need to do, since we got everything set up, and I went ahead and stuck it on a pan here because the bottom of this burner also gets hot and I don't want it to melt my plastic table here. So I stuck it up on this pan. Now what we need to do is, of course, light it. Now we've got little matches for that. Now, another one of the cons that I hear about this thing is that it's very difficult to light when it's not completely filled up. I'm taking it that most people only burn this 6 or 7 minutes. This thing actually burns when it's full for somewhere around 25 to 30 minutes. And their tops have deteriorated, so now they leak. And they're wasting a lot of alcohol if they fill it up all the way. So, like I said, carry a funnel around with you and carry a container that you can put the alcohol back into. It's not that big of a deal. So let's go ahead and light this baby up. And as you can see, it lights pretty easy. If you get a little bit of alcohol around the very edge there, don't worry about it. It will burn off. Let's go ahead and get our cup ready. Now this is a 16.9 ounce bottle. And again, if you can see the measurements on this from 8 to 20, and then up in here somewhere is actually 24. So actually 3 cups. We're going to put 1 cup of water in this, which is about half this bottle. There we go. So according to my measurement marks, I have 8 ounces of water in this. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the camera and give you more of a bird's eye view down. Now if you can see this in the camera, it's moved from the center where I initially lit it to around the edge there where all the holes are, and that's where the flame's coming up at now. This thing's gotten good and hot. You can see blue flames and it's coming up really, really well. So what I'm going to do is I've got my phone here, my smartphone, and on it I have a app. That's a stopwatch. And we're going to set this on here and see how long it takes to boil this water. Now this Stanley 24 ounce cook pot that I got, I ended up picking it up at Walmart. It was a little over $15. The stove itself, and you can actually pick this up, was about $6 or $7. And of course the Esbit alcohol burner was about $20. I got it online. The dentured alcohol, I found a can of it at Lowe's, and if I'm not mistaken it was $7 or $8. So there's a little bit of money involved to get something like this. But all of this is going to go in my emergency vehicle bag. Oops. Just for the simple fact that I'm a firm believer that if it hits the fan enough to where I can't drive home and I'm walking home, that I probably at nighttime do not want to build some type of campfire or something, because of all the good things that the campfire puts out, it also puts out a lot of smoke. And smoke can be traced and tracked for miles away. And sometime in the middle of the night when you're least expecting it, you could have an unwelcome visitor. So I like this idea a lot better. This is clean burning fuel. Unfortunately, yes, you do have to carry this with you, but if you use it conservatively, this should last you for almost a week, if not 5 days to a week, just by doing that. And at some point during that, you can probably start a little campfire and nobody know that you're there, probably in the middle of the day or something like that, to cook something. And of course, this is the funnel that I'm using right now. It's a little bit big. They have some at Walmart for probably less than $1 that are made of rubber, and they don't really weigh anything. All these things together, of course, have some weight to them. So you have to decide, you know, what's your factor of weight that you want to put into over convenience. You know, in my bag, I carry 3 or 4 different ways to start fire. You know, I've carried 2 or 3 lighters. I have 3 or 4 ferrocerium rods. I've got a couple of magnesium sticks with the ferrocerium rod on the end of them. I carry windproof matches, not these, but windproof matches. So I've got several different ways that I can start fire. I also carry some cotton balls that have been covered in Vaseline, you know, for a ferrocerium rod and stuff like that. But this is pretty quick. It's pretty easy, and providing we can get this water to boil fairly quickly, this is going to be really, really nice for us to do. So what I want to do is I want to see if I can move this a little closer to the camera to give you kind of a bird's eye view down into the water. And still see the clock counting down. Something I think just like that. Now when I was hunting, I did not have this pot. I had a regular stainless steel cup that I always carried with me. And the problem with the cup was that I could never get anything to come up to boil. And the reason for that is because it's a double bottom cup, or a double layered cup. It's actually got 2 pieces of metal sandwiched into it with airspace in between them. That way whenever you put something hot inside the cup, the outside of the cup is cool. And I think that was really, really affecting it. This cook pot doesn't have that, okay? All you've got in this cook pot is the stainless steel. The outer wall is the same as the inner wall. So this ought to do really, really well. I also like it. It does come with a lid, so you can sit there and simmer and steam stuff. Now the only bad thing that I don't like about this Esbit alcohol burner, or any of the alcohol burners, is there's not an up or down switch, okay? You can't really adjust the flame on it. But as far as cooking stuff in a pot like this and boiling water to make hot chocolate or coffee, or just something warm to get inside you to help make your core temperature come up, this is great. I mean, it's been going on for more than 4.5 minutes now. I'm already starting to see bubbles and stuff starting to come up from the bottom of the pan. It's getting close to starting to boil. So I might make the 6 or 7 minute mark, and if I do, that's fantastic. Now this cooker also comes with these cups, and I showed these to you before we started this little experiment. I'm not real fond of these cups. I'm going to end up replacing them with some stainless steel ones, I think, because if you put these in the fire, they're just going to melt. So I'm going to get some good stainless steel ones and go with that. Now it's starting to boil, but I want it to take it to a rolling boil. Another thing that I like about this stove is not only can you put a pot on here, if you have a smaller, like a pan to cook in, you can put a pan on it to cook. If you ran out of alcohol fluid in this, you could actually build a little fire, a little wood fire down underneath this and cook it as well. I mean, it's pretty versatile, it's pretty nice, and as you can see, we just hit a rolling boil, guys. We got 5 minutes and 52 seconds. That is really, really cool. So we'll go right there at 6 minutes. Boom, 6 minutes, we're at a rolling boil. 1 cup of water. I'm going to set this right here. Let that cool off. Actually, I'm going to set it over here and let that cool off. I'm going to open this up. Now be careful on the sides of this. It does get hot. Take my cover, put the flames out, let that thing sit there for a little while. And if you want to try and keep your stuff a little warmer inside there, you can always put that there and move this out of the way. So now that you saw that it actually took 6 minutes to bring that to a rolling boil, which is absolutely great, I'm going to go ahead and let this cool down, and then we will dump the alcohol out of this back into my bottle, start breaking everything down, and that'll be it. Okay, so it's cooled down enough down here on the sides at least to where I can take it out of the stove. And I can go ahead and put the stove up. And the stove's easy to take apart. Just grab it here, pull it up, take the walls out, fold the walls in on themselves, bring this around to the back, this in here, and fold it just like that. Now be careful because the grate can still be pretty hot. You gotta let this stuff cool off pretty good. The water is still steaming, really, really hot. You could put a cup of rice in there and have rice. You could put some ramen noodles in there and eat them. You could put some oatmeal in there and eat it. You could very easily just put some hot chocolate or some coffee or some tea or whatever in it. Or if it was real cold and you didn't have any of that stuff, you just wanted to get some warm liquid in you, this would work. If you needed to boil water to sterilize the water to make it safe to drink, and you didn't have anything else besides something to boil with, this could definitely do that. This is now a cup of good water. If you needed to, you could take this water, dump it right into a cup. And these cups will actually hold 8 ounces of water. And then you could go and you could do the same thing again. Fill it back up with water again and start boiling it again. A constant process of drinking and making water. So the burner is pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead, move this out of the way so the steam don't fog up the camera. Go like so. Now you can see I got the funnel, I got the Esbit alcohol burner, and it used a little bit of the fuel. It's down about halfway. And you just very simply pour it right back into the bottle. And then just to make sure that I get all of it out, I just give it a couple of good flicks. Let it continue to dry. Let the alcohol inside of it continue to evaporate out. Put my stopper back in. Put the lid back on. And that's pretty much that. Now when this is completely done, simply put the top back on it. Gives it a good seal around it where no moisture can get down into it. Stick your top back on. And it's ready to be packed away. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this little review and demonstration of the Esbit alcohol burner. Boiling 8 ounces of water, or 1 cup of water, in just under 6 minutes. Also using the Sterno folding stove and the modification that I made for it so that it would fit the alcohol burner. As well as the Stanley 24-ounce cooker. Hope you found it helpful, hope you found it interesting, and I thank you for watching. Until next time, this is North Central. Thanks for watching.